Here are the top stories for today, October 8, 2019. Malacanang on Monday downplayed the slight dip in President Rodrigo Duterte's trust and approval ratings. A fair deal from U.S. is seen as the Philippines leans towards Russia. Former fishermen in Aurora are now making a living with bamboo handicrafts. And nearly 140,000 migratory raptors taking temporary refuge in a bird sanctuary in Sarangani. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Malacanang on Monday downplayed the slight dip in President Rodrigo Duterte's trust and approval ratings. The latest Pulse Asia survey show that Duterte's approval rating went down from 85% in June to 78% in September, while his trust rating skidded from 85 to 74%. Malacanang said the rating is still high as it still is more than 70%. The survey was conducted from September 16 to 22nd amid irregularities at the Bureau of Corrections. Duterte acquired the highest approval rating in Mindanao at 92%, followed by Visayas at 84%, National Capital Region 80%, and Luzon at 69%. He also obtained the highest trust rating in Mindanao at 91%, followed by Visayas 81%, NCR 76%, and Luzon 62%. After Duterte, Senate President Vicente Sotto got the highest approval and trust rating at 72% and 66% respectively. Sotto was followed by House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, who got an approval and trust rating of 64% and 62% respectively. Half or 50% of Filipinos expressed approval for Vice President Leni Robredo, while 46% said they trusted her. Malacanang on Monday said that the deepening ties between the Philippines and Russia could make the United States feel a little insecure and should consider giving fair deals to the Philippines. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo made this remark after Duterte arrived from his second visit to Russia last week, securing 620 million pesos worth of business deals. Panelo said the Philippines used to always rely on the United States, but is now pursuing engagement with other countries such as Russia for mutual benefit. He said there was an ongoing negotiation on the purchase of certain military equipment from Russia, but he did not elaborate. In 2016, the U.S. State Department halted the sale of firearms to the Philippines over concerns on human rights violations. The Philippines then started looking for cheaper arms from Russia and China. The two countries assisted the Philippines when the Marawi siege took place in May 2017. Last June, Duterte said he is open to buy arms from the U.S. after it stopped its purchase 3 years ago. Panelo said partnerships with other countries would likely prompt the U.S. to give more importance to the Philippines, including fair deals. Meanwhile, Malacanang says the nuclear energy agreement between the Philippines and Russia is uncertain as the deal may be unconstitutional. During Duterte's 5-day official visit to Russia last week, the Philippines and Russia signed a memorandum of intent to explore the possible construction of nuclear power plants in the country. This was among the 10 business agreements signed between the two countries, estimated to be worth $12.57 million or about 650 million pesos. However, Duterte said he would consult his cabinet first since the deal may be a violation of the Constitution. Malacanang on Monday said that the supplemental motion filed by human rights group before the International Criminal Court or ICC is doomed from the start. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said the human rights group resorted to ICC because it failed to present proof of extrajudicial killings that resulted from the anti-illegal narcotics campaign. Panelo said the human rights group Rise Up relied on trumped-up figures which have no factual basis and will not hold up in court. He also said Rise Up is trying to blemish legitimate operations of law enforcement personnel who are only forced to protect themselves in the performance of their duty. The palace official tagged the human rights group as a network of church-based and sectoral organizations whose existence is bound by their sheer hatred and common despise against President Duterte and this administration. The Department of Social Welfare and Development signs the IRR4 laws which uphold the safety and welfare of children. And trainings on how to improve farming is being offered by TESDA. More on this from Teresa Montemayor.
The Department of Labor and Employment on Monday announced a total ban on the deployment of overseas Filipino workers to South Sudan due to the unstable peace and security situation in the region. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello III said the deployment ban was issued after an Alert Level 4 was declared due to the escalation of violence in South Sudan. Alert Level 4 provides for the mandatory repatriation of Filipino workers in the affected area. Meanwhile, some 60,000 farmers will benefit from the Rice Extension Services Program of TESDA. According to TESDA NCR Director Conrado Bares, the rice tariffication law is expected to gain 10 billion pesos, in which 700 million pesos will go to TESDA annually for 6 years. The fund will be used by TESDA to train farmers in machinery operation and dry milling, among others. In other news, the Department of Social Welfare and Development on Monday signed the implementing rules and regulations for Republic Acts 11222 and 11037, which promote the welfare of children. RA 11222, or the Simulated Birth Rectification Act, allows adoptive parents to correct the document and legally adopt the child, while RA 11037, or the Masustansyang Pagkain para sa Batang Pilipino Act, regulates all existing government feeding programs. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Teresa Montemayor.
Still to come, Malacanang is in favor of conducting lifestyle check among PNP personnel. And a warrant of arrest is issued against suspects in the killing of Brigada News FM anchor Eduardo Dizon. These and more when we return.
Since my visit in May 2017, which unfortunately was cut short due to the security emergency in Marawi, I have always looked forward to returning to Russia. I am here today to reaffirm our strong commitment to build a robust and comprehensive partnership with the Russian Federation. It is imperative to sustain these consultative dialogues and enhance our mechanism to further strengthen the foundation of our growing relationships. I am therefore happy with this opportunity to continue our dialogue with a view of identifying vital areas of cooperation where we should concentrate our effort in the coming years.
PNP Chief General Oscar Albayalde on Monday welcomed President Duterte's recent statement, clarifying that there is no active general in the report on illegal drugs. Duterte, in a speech during a forum organized by a Russian think tank in Sochi, Russia, said 2 generals are still playing with illegal drugs. He, however, clarified to the media upon his arrival from Russia that he was confused by the old rank classification in the Philippine National Police, which referred to officers as superintendents. Albayalde welcomed Duterte's remark and assured the public that the PNP will remain relentless in its campaign against crime, illegal drugs, and rogue cops. Meanwhile, a 3-man prosecution panel has been formed by the Department of Justice to investigate ninja cops or police officers involved in the recycling of illegal drugs. The panel has a month to complete its probe and file the necessary criminal information against the alleged ninja cops if warranted by the evidence. Following reports that there are cops allegedly involved in the recycling of illegal drugs, Malacanang said it is in favor of conducting lifestyle checks upon PNP personnel. In an interview over ANC on Monday, presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said President Duterte wants to know the truth and that there should be an internal lifestyle check among PNP members and all heads of department. Panelo said the lifestyle check could be conducted by the Internal Affairs Service of the PNP. He also assured that the ongoing investigation being conducted by the DILG specific to the alleged involvement of PNP Chief General Oscar Albayalde will also include other police personnel. Earlier, DILG Secretary Eduardo Año assured that the results of the investigation on Albayalde will be out before his retirement on November 8. Former fishermen in Dipakulaw, Aurora are now making a living with bamboo handicrafts through the support of the Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI. The fishermen are members of Copper Sharemen Association Incorporated that benefited through the DTI Shared Service Facility project. DTI Provincial Director Edna Dizon said the CSAI is one of the associations in this province that successfully managed the SSF project. 3 years ago, the DTI official said they helped the group organize an association due to the hardships of being fishermen. The CSAI members underwent handicraft training and other related workshops that are relevant to the industry they pursued. Aside from the DTI, the CSAI also availed of other support and assistance from the Department of Labor and Employment, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, and the local government unit. A regional trial court in Kidapawan City has issued a warrant of arrest against suspects in the killing of Brigada News FM anchor Eduardo Dizon. The Presidential Task Force on Media Security on Monday said Judge Henelinda Molina Diaz ordered the arrest of Junel Poten and Sotero Hacolbe Jr. in connection with the murder charges filed against them last September 30. On the other hand, the alleged mastermind Dante Tabusares sought the suspension of the implementation of the warrant against him in a motion filed before the trial court. Communications Secretary Martin Andanar welcomed the court's arrest order against the two suspects. Andanar said the Presidential Communications Operations Office sympathizes with Dizon's family as he hopes justice will be served for the death of their loved one. Last July 10, Dizon was killed after gunmen on board a motorcycle shot and killed him while driving home after his radio program. Victims of Typhoon Ineng in Ilocos Norte have received rice aid from Japan. Meanwhile, over 70 farmers in Dinagat Islands are set to receive land titles. More on these and other news from the provinces from Janice Cabe.
Residents in Ilocos Norte who were heavily affected by Typhoon Ineng last August will soon get rice aid courtesy of the Japanese government. Personnel of the Bureau of Fire Protection helped in the distribution of emergency rice assistance to the typhoon victims in Bacara, Ilocos Norte last Saturday, October 5. At least one kavan at 30 kilograms each will be distributed to over 1,000 beneficiaries pre-identified by the Social Welfare Office. Meanwhile, cyclists will soon enjoy the amenities of the Bikers Den in Barangay Inmalog Sur, San Fabian Town in Pangasinan with its inauguration this October 12. Aside from amenities such as shower areas and bike rails, the place has a good view of the Lingayen Gulf, trees-covered mountains, and play farms that can be seen along the way to the den. Pangasinan Congressman Christopher De Venecia said he pushed for the promotion of the Inmalog Trail and the construction of the den to encourage the youth to indulge in sports, appreciate nature, promote tourism areas in San Fabian and the 4th District as a whole. In other news, 24 centenarians from Panay and Guimaras each received a cash gift of 100,000 pesos and a letter of felicitation from President Rodrigo Duterte during the National Respect for Centenarians Day on Monday. DSWD6 Regional Director Maria Evelyn Macapobre encouraged the family members of the centenarians to let the elderlies enjoy the cash grant and give them good memories to treasure. The DSWD6 wants to make sure that the monetary award given to the centenarians will be put to good use. Meanwhile, over 1,000 hectares of agri-lands are about to be distributed to farmers from various towns in Dinagat Islands. The Department of Agrarian Reform in Caraga Region said 766 farmers will receive their certificates of land ownership award in a ceremony scheduled on Wednesday in San Jose Town, Dinagat Islands. The activity in Dinagat Islands is among the series of land distribution activities that the DAR Caraga region spearheaded since the middle of last year. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
Up next, nearly 140,000 migratory raptors taking temporary refuge in a bird sanctuary in Sarangani. And Baguio City boasted of its local longanisa. We'll be back after a few reminders.
Sa pag-unlad ng turismo, umangat ang Pilipino. Mga may bahay, nagkahanap buhay. Tagahugas ng pinggan, naging gabay sa karagatan. Isang engineer, napaunlad ang sining ng buong barangay. At ang simpleng magsasagwan, malaki ang tulong sa kalikasan. Silang walang tinig, boses na ng kasaysayan. At ang specialty ni nanay, ngayoy pinipilahan. Ang best friend ng lahat, naging tour guide na. At ang daan-taong apo, naibida ang kulturang Pilipino. Lunti ang ilog, naging entablado. At katutubong sayaw, napaindak ang buong mundo. Ipagdiwang ang isang dekada ng Tourism Act. Kabuhayan sa turismo, pinauunlad ang bawat Pilipino.
A lawmaker on Monday called for the passage of a measure seeking the development of the bamboo industry in the country. Ambis OWA Party List Representative Sharon Garin said House Bill 3373 or the Philippine Bamboo Industry Development Act aims to promote the sustainable management and use of the country's bamboo resources. Garin said the proposed law would also support livelihood programs that targets persons with disabilities, the marginalized sector, the unemployed, and the retrenched overseas Filipino workers for preference employment. The measure also seeks to help minimize carbon footprints amid the growing global movement to address climate change. Meanwhile, Valenzuela City Congressman Wesley Gatchalian has filed a bill seeking to regulate parking fees. Gatchalian said his proposed House Bill 3262 or Parking Fees Regulation Act aims to protect customers from unreasonable parking rates and fees. Under the proposed measure, the standard parking fee will be only at 40 pesos per vehicle for a maximum of 8 hours and an additional 10 pesos per succeeding hour. For overnight parking, a customer shall be charged a one-time fee of 100 pesos per vehicle. For shopping malls, restaurants, stores, and similar establishments, the parking fee shall be waived once a customer presents a validated proof of purchase or payment of not less than 1,000 pesos. Lanao del Norte has launched its coverage areas for peace and development, where residents avail of government services to curb the effects of conflict and insurgency. More on this from Rechi Paculba.
Different government services and interventions were rolled out in Barangay Berwar here Monday as part of the activation of Lanao del Norte Task Force to end local communists' armed conflict and launching of convergence areas for peace and development in the province. At least 40 national government agencies brought their services and assistance to the launching in addition to the Special Mass-Based Program or EMBP of the provincial government. Personnel from the Department of Health joined the Provincial Health Office, Philippine National Police, and Philippine Army in providing medical, circumcision, and dental services. The Department of Labor and Employment provided a certificate of entitlement worth 297,800 pesos for 10-day emergency employment of 80 beneficiaries under the Tulong Panghanap Buhay para sa ating disadvantaged or displaced workers or TUPAD program. Interventions from the Department of Agriculture totaled to 2,143,700 pesos consisting of 95 HP farm tractor with implements, 750 packets of 5-in-1 pinakbet vegetable seeds, and 30 bags of OPV corn seeds. The Department of Public Works and Highways or DPWH, Department of Agrarian Reform, National Irrigation Administration, Department of the Interior and Local Government, and Office of the Presidential Advisor for Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity also unveiled their infrastructure projects in the area. Lawyer Glenn Ocampo, who represented Communications Secretary Martin Andonar, cited EO70 as a step in the right direction of addressing the root causes of the insurgency problem, and Northern Mindanao is leading by example in operationalizing the EO through the CAPDEF program with Andonar at the helm. Provincial Governor Imelda Q. Dimapora said the CAPDEV will strengthen the relationship of the national and local government by complementing each other in order that much-needed services to the people can easily be facilitated and delivered, especially in conflict-affected and isolated communities. For PNA Newsroom, Rechi Paculba, Philippine Information Agency, Cagayan de Oro.
The Department of Health on Monday inaugurated the Las Piñas Drug Abuse and Treatment Rehabilitation Center. This is in response to President Rodrigo Duterte's call to prioritize and synergize efforts to stop drug addiction. In a speech, DOH Secretary Francisco Duque III noted the huge gap between the drug dependence and treatment facilities, thus the need to establish more state-run treatment centers for substance abuse. According to the Dangerous Drugs Board, there are about 1.3 million drug dependents in the country, while 600 of them have surrendered to authorities. The number of beds in government and private drug rehabilitation centers, however, totals over 3,000. Duque said the DOH is working closely with government agencies and other stakeholders to ensure that no dependent is left behind. Environment personnel in Sarangani province have documented nearly 140,000 migratory raptors taking temporary refuge at a bird sanctuary in Glan Town. Dr. Roy Mejorada, the in-house veterinarian of the Sarangani Environmental Conservation and Protection Center, said the survey formally started last September 19 in 4 barangays near Mount Talpak and Gulo and Mount Latian Complex. The villages are Lagumit, Cross, Batulaki, and Rio del Pilar, which hosted the province's second Raptor Watch Festival last October 2nd. At least 5 migratory raptor species have been spotted in the area. Mejorada said they expect the total sightings this year to further increase as their monitoring will continue until October 30. The provincial government has partnered with conservation group Raptor Watch Network Philippines for the conduct of the annual study on the migratory raptors. Citing their study, the raptors mainly come from Japan, Taiwan, China, as well as parts of Russia. Native food was the center of attention in a few events in the provinces over the weekend. Baguio City boasted of its local longanisa, while Calbayog City promotes tinapa with a twist. Teresa Montemayor has the story.
Over 3,000 kilos of longanisa were paraded by hospitality and tourism management students from different universities and colleges along Session Road in Baguio City during the longest longanisa festival on Sunday. The longanisa, measuring 7.86 kilometers long, were produced in 2 months. The event marked the third time the Hotel and Restaurant Association of Baguio made it an attraction of the Hotel and Restaurant Tourism Weekend. The association has partnered with the maker of what is known as Baguio Longanisa. Vondaline Alabanza of Alabanza Meat Store said the third staging is a mere promotion of the longanisa, which is becoming a favorite among locals and tourists. In Calbayog City, students of San Policarpio National High School, or the SPNHS, bagged the top place during the 6th Annual Tinapa Cooking Festival on Saturday. The group cooked tinapa tersagata, served with sliced banana, fresh ternate flour, and latik or coconut garnishing. Divina Sumayan, SPNHS teacher and coach of the winning team, said teaching students how to cook the dish was easy because they all know how to work in the kitchen. Other winners are STI Calbayog for its spicy tinapa sisig shawarma in 2nd place, and Calbayog City National High School for its ginataang tinapa sa basi in 3rd place. The dishes were judged based on taste, texture, and appearance, creative use of tinapa, presentation, mise en place, or preparation method. Calbayog Tourism Officer Ronald Ricafort Jr. shared that next year the competition will be much bigger with the addition of new categories such as teachers and professionals. They also plan to come up with a book compilation of recipes, especially the winning recipes of the competition. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Teresa Montemayor.
Here is the latest in our community billboard. 2 Filipinos will square off for a world title in an all-Filipino title bout. It will be North against South and Youth versus Experience, as the 23-year-old Joshua Pasha of Baguio will defend his title against the 40-year-old former national wushu champ Rene Catalan from Iloilo City. The One Masters of Fate will be on November 8 at the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay City. The country can expect colder nights synonymous to the Christmas season as it transitions to the easterly winds or amihan. Pagasa says the southwest monsoon or habagat season has ended with the transition of the general wind pattern to the easterlies. This means the amihan will start bringing colder weather in the coming days. Meantime, Pag-asa is monitoring Typhoon Hagibis, which is expected to enter the Philippine area of responsibility by Friday. Hagibis has intensified even as it is unlikely to make landfall. Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. Malacanang on Monday downplayed the slight dip in President Rodrigo Duterte's trust and approval ratings. A fair deal from U.S. is seen as the Philippines leans towards Russia. Former fishermen in Aurora are now making a living with bamboo handicrafts. And nearly 140,000 migratory raptors taking temporary refuge in a bird sanctuary in Sarangani. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check more news content, check our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also, watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I am William Theo. Good day.